begin then this morning's service. It's nice to have you back in the bungalow. It's been such a long time since we've been able to gather together like this. Maybe from here. Yeah, okay, so we'll begin this morning's service. Let's start with the reading of June 9th. Please join me in June 9th. Namanda, 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 namanda. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. What don't we know? One that. Okay. What do we know? What do we? Asa no uta. Asa no. Asa no. 38. 38. Yes. Okay. You at home. You have to join in too now. 38. Okay. Asana, asana ni miyoshi e aogi, kiyoki, tsutome ni isoshimu warera. Asana, asana ni miato oshi ei, kiyoki, omoi ho ataro warera. Asana, asana ni misato ni tatae, kiyoki, kokoro o yashi no warena. Minumi ahururu otoki hitohi kyomo sasagena warera no hinoshi. You join the reading of Golden Chain. I am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Ohayou gozaimasu. Good morning, everybody. It's so nice to have everybody back in the Hondo again. At the Betsy, we're starting in person also. But what we're doing is people have to reserve because the capacity of Hondo is limited. And we don't know how many people may show up. But this morning, I think there may be more people here than in the Hondo at the Bitsui. So, yay! Okay. Next, in the next few weeks, we'll have Ubon, and that's going to be in person as well. And there's so much uncertainty. We don't know if people are going to show up. If people show up, if we'll have enough food. we don't know if we'll have enough people to volunteer we're not doing sushi, so we don't have to worry about maki sushi or inari, but they've ordered sushi, so we'll see how that works out. But yeah, Buddhism tells us or reminds us that everything is changing, everything is in the process of changing, and so it's not so much that we have to prepare ourselves, but I think by acknowledging that everything is changing, we can certainly conduct ourselves in a way that we adapt to those changes. When these changes occur, sometimes we don't know what to do, where we're going to land, whether or not what the choices that we're making or decisions that we're making are going to be able to address the things that we need to. Right now, the big concern for Obon is security, right? Are we going to have enough security at the time of Obon? Nikkei Matsuri didn't have any security, so other than the normal kind of security. So we've talked with, or the Obon committee has talked with a company that has been providing security for Obon for several years now, but their estimate of the cost is so huge that we're coming in. What are we going to do? But those are the kinds of things that we have to adjust to. We have to figure out what the possible risks are, and how are we going to address those risks. So a lot of things that need to be considered. And when we think about the hundreds of thousands of people that may be coming on a weekend, not only do we want to provide a place that they can come to, that they can have fun at, eat some food, meet some friends, but also a place that's safe, right? And, but these are the kinds of things that change certainly causes us to kind of think about and to reconsider how we've done things in the past and how we might have to do things moving forward. One of the things that we were asking, and again, this is because of the change that normally when people come to Obon, we have a dressing area and we have people that will help with putting on kimono. This year we're not going to have that because when you're in that dressing room, it's so confined. There's so many people, and the dressers also, they don't want to have to be possibly coming into contact with somebody that might have COVID. So this year we're kind of asking people to either come dressed or yukata and hapiko, but there will be no dressers or a dressing room provided this year. We're hoping that people will get the message that won't show up dragging rolling their suitcase behind them, wait looking for a place to get dressed, and but again, the changes that occur in our lives, we need to adjust to and adapt. And as big as important as the way that we are adapting Obon, there are certainly more important things in our lives that we've experienced that has caused us to have to adapt and have to change. And most important is when somebody in our family dies, right? When somebody close to us dies, and death is certainly part of that change that we experience in our lives, and how we adapt, how we change, how our lives kind of continue to move us. The family and friends that come together, our experiences, our memories, all of those things that come together at these important times, allow us to kind of think about how connected we are with the world around us, the people and family and friends that come to, um, you know, express their condolences certainly, but also to express their help or their offering of help and support. Again, as we adapt to change, um, we might begin to realize how this event of someone's death can remind us and deepen our understanding of the relationship that we experience and that we share with the world around us. That we are not isolated, nor are we kind of living alone, but rather that they are these causes and conditions um, that support and sustain us, that makes our lives possible. When we talk about Amida Buddha is infinite light, infinite life. These are the two attributes of Amida Buddha. So Shinan begins his Shoshinge with Kim Yong-ryo Junyorai, Namo Fukashi Ko. So the Buddha of take refuge in the Buddha of infinite life, take refuge in the Buddha of immeasurable light. So these are the two characteristics of Amida Buddha. Light is wisdom, wisdom that, and life is compassion. So with light, it illuminates, it allows us to see, and life, compassion is how we respond to what we see in the world around us. And when something occurs, when something happens in our lives, and again, change is constantly taking place in our lives, but when something occurs that affects us deeply, that can cause us to look around us, to begin to maybe think about how our relationship with the world around us kind of sustains us. And in return, we might begin to respond in a way that acknowledges that in a way that expresses kindness, expresses compassion. When we experience something that is important or powerful in our lives, we can begin to maybe think about things differently. I've been talking about this verse of the Shoshinge, in which Shida says, a person of Shinjin realizes that birth and death is nirvana, that these are not two separate things. Birth and death is our everyday life where we experience all the difficulties and challenges of our life, and nirvana is what we kind of, in Buddhism, we tend to aim towards. We say, we gotta go to experience nirvana, we gotta become Buddhas, we're gonna become enlightened. That seems to be the goal. But what Shinran is saying in this verse, that samsara is nirvana, that these are not two separate things. They're not even the same side of the same coin, the two sides of the same coin, but rather it is, samsara is nirvana. Nirvana is samsara. But we experience nirvana as samsara because of the way that we think about, the way that we see, when we look at nirvana. It's kind of hard to imagine that here we are having a nice Sunday service in nirvana. Well, maybe we can't think about it that way. But normally, we think about the world's a crazy place, and all kinds of chaos and all kinds of craziness going on, that it kind of seems as though, how can it be nirvana? But the reason we have such chaos is because of our own foolishness, right? Our inability to see things as they are. So we get into arguments. We say, "You're wrong. I'm right. I have to have my way. You cannot do what you want." And so we end up arguing, and rather than working together we end up trying to get my side heard and my way. So, it's sometimes difficult to see what Shinran saw, but for him, samsara, what we're experiencing, is nirvana. But we experience nirvana as samsara because of our own foolishness. So in Tokyo Shinsho, he quotes, I think it's Taiwan is talking about the Nishu Jinshin, the two aspects of deep faith of Shinjin. He says that the two sides of the Shinjin is one, my realization, my understanding that I am absolutely incapable of attaining enlightenment, absolutely incapable of resolving the difficulties that I experience. But on the other side, I am absolutely assured of resolving those difficulties because of the Buddha. So these are the two aspects of deep faith. And it's kind of like, what Shinran is saying about samsara and nirvana, right? There's a term, kiho ittai, that this everyday life and the Dharma are one, kiho ittai and body. And when we realize these two aspects of deep faith, Nishujinshin, that assurance of Amida Buddha allows us to look at this my foolishness. It allows me to look more carefully. And it's by beginning to see that foolishness, not that it's good or bad, it's just that I don't look at things. I see things through what I want, what I like, and what I, and when I begin to see that, I can begin to maybe, again, like when someone dies and our friends and family come to support us, I can begin to see how deeply connected I am to the world around me. I can begin to see how I am sustained by infinite wisdom, infinite compassion. I can begin to experience, not as an idea or thought, but with my life, how life around me supports and sustains me. We come back and we are in the world of samsara because that's how we see things, that's how we think about things. Although we are already in nirvana, because we are as we are, we're foolish beings. We continue to have to struggle with our actions and what our actions result in. But seeing that, we also understand the compassion of Amida Buddha that extends to all beings. The compassion of Amida Buddha that affirms all of us, regardless of our abilities or skills, of the resolution of difficulties. The resolution of difficulties is a core of Buddhism. That's really all that Buddhism is about. Buddhism starts out with a very basic question. How do we resolve the difficulties we cause and experience? That's Shakyamuni Buddha's question. That's when he goes off and he tries to find something that can answer that question. And his answer is the Four Noble Truths. He says, okay, we all suffer, we all experience difficulties. And that's the first of Four Noble Truths. Second is, those difficulties result from how we kind of think about the world, how we experience the world, what we do in the world. But it tends to be based on what I want to see, what I think. But we don't have to remain like that. So that's the second. And then the third is, we don't have to remain like that. And the fourth is how to resolve these difficulties. So the question of how to resolve these difficulties is at the core of the teachings of the Buddha. And Jodo Shinshu is, of course, Buddhism, and it deals with the same question: how to resolve these difficulties. And for us in Jodo Shinshu, we recognize, again in Nishu Jinshu, we recognize our foolishness and the assurance of Amida Buddha. And that assurance allows us to kind of be more open to possibilities. I don't have to be closed and tight in my own beliefs and feelings, but I can open up and extend my understanding and appreciation of the world around me. And again, when changes occur in our lives, some are very profound. We begin to, we can either kind of close in, saying this is so terrible. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to. I can't find my way out of this. Or we can begin to, and sometimes it's not up to us. Like we might decide to kind of not do that, but then we can't help but become closed. But in this Nishu Jinshin, the assurance of Amida Buddha allows us to see ourselves, and hopefully we can begin to recognize how the life around us supports us, nurtures us, sustains us, and begin to soften that boundary between myself and the world around me. When we look at the politics and what's going on in Ukraine, and when we look at all these kinds of crazy things that are going on, I mean, even the shootings here in the United States, it's almost every day. Recently, it's almost every day that we have a mass shooting. And a mass shooting has a specific definition. It has to be, I think it's 3 or more people killed in a shooting. And we have this regularly. We hear about the large ones, large meaning so many people being killed. But these shootings are occurring all the time. And we are, I think all of us need to try to kind of figure out how to best address these kinds of problems that we have. Sometimes we feel like, well, there's nothing we can do. I feel that a lot of times, there's nothing I can do to help Ukraine. But then there are people who will do fundraising. There are people, recently it was interesting. I think it was in Florida. They did a gun buyback. So bring in your old guns or whatever, guns that are no longer functional, guns that you may have found, no question asked, you bring it in, we pay you for what you bring in. But what they plan to do with those guns is to, ones that are still usable or have been refurbished, they'll send it to Ukraine. So it's kind of interesting, they'll buy back guns from the cities in Florida, and then take that and ship it to Ukraine. If we can begin to see our connection with the world around us, not everything that we see may make sense, but by looking around us, we may be able to recognize again how our foolishness again results in difficulties for ourselves and for others, and that foolishness is kind of illuminated by this assurance of Amida Buddha that provides for the enlightenment of all beings. And as that foolishness becomes illuminated, we can perhaps begin to see how much our lives, how deeply connected we are to the world around us. In Jodo Shinshu, of course, Namo Amida Butsu, Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu is always, our expression of gratitude and appreciation for Amida Buddha, the work of Amida Buddha that provides for the enlightenment of all beings. And whether we think however we think of Amida Buddha, that we appreciate this assurance of Amida Buddha kind of changes, I think, the way that we experience the world. It softens maybe the harshness with which we see the world and we engage the world. And I think by softening that harshness, there is opportunity for dialogue, for conversation that can begin to address the difficulties that we experience as human beings. When Shinran in Shoshinge says a person of Shinjing, and again, Shinjing is this, what is being referred to in the Kyogyo Shinshu that has two components to it. The person of Shinjing realizes that birth and death is nirvana. Living in this world of samsara, or experiencing the world of nirvana as samsara, we respond and we say Namo Amida Butsu in gratitude for the assurance of Amida Buddha that provides for the eventual enlightenment of all things. Today, we are here for the first time in person in a very long while. The changes that have taken place in all of our lives, it has been significant for the past 2 years. All kinds of things have happened in our lives. But to be able to gather together is really nice. For that too, we can say Namo Amida so that we are able to gather together as we do this morning. Thank you very much for your presence here this morning. Again, I think we have more people here than Hondo. We're not comparing. We're not. No. Thank you very much, everybody. Let's conclude with Gasho, please. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.